All right, well, welcome back to the stream. Today we're going to look at some more Rey Vault. Starting to really like this deck. It's got a lot of gameplay that I'm suited to my style, which is value first. So it's kind of a go wide deck, card advantage deck. It's taken from the list, I think, that was in the top 8 in France, and it was a PQ winner in the US as well. Made a few little changes between the lists were kind of a little bit different between the two. This one I'm trying more of the sideboard being closer to the France one. So using the couple of restocks, a salvage, the extra rivals 4, and then having that third takedown in the main. So it is about playing small units, exploiting Ray's ability to add an experience to it, playing the larger deck size with Data Vault, getting the extra health, dodging the space lane, using Entrenched and Traitorous to block the space lane, and then getting as much value as you can in terms of card draw with cards like Mon Mothma, Bright Hope bouncing cards back to your hand, 3PO drawing them, Home 1 returning from your graveyard, and Tech accessing the resource row. So let's jump into some games. This is a deck that I'm thinking about running in the Canberra PQ this week. It'll either be this or Yoda, because this set I think I can only win with Blue Heroism. So that seems to be my go-to at the moment. I tried Villainy last weekend, didn't work out too well. And there's already a lot of people playing Kira, so it's not for me once a lot of people start playing decks. All right, so we now have a Dooku to start. We don't have a first turn play, so it looks like a mulligan. We've got to expect exploit and a big unit potentially in space. All right, so we've got a dispatcher, which is our first turn play. I don't think we need Akbar. And then what's unique in that with this deck is you can resource one of your primary units, like Home 1 or Luke, early, and then bring it out in Smuggle later. So we'll get rid of that one. And let's see what he's got for us. One of the unique plays here is playing the dispatcher down and then claiming straight away to trigger Bright Hope and draw a card. So let's... What could he have here? He could have a Merciless Contest next. All right, let's try that. Let's go straight for the power play here. All right, so I don't think we need Village Protectors. It's not that strong on the ground. It was either between Village Protectors and Yoda there. All right, so we'll go the Dispatcher. We'll play a Bright Hope and bounce the Dispatcher back to hand. Already we're starting to generate some card advantage. Okay, so he's going to exploit and he's going to hit a Legionnaire. So we can just claim. We can then take down that Legionnaire. What do we need? Dispatcher for 1. I think we need Yoda at this stage. So the options are a resupply and an experience, or just a takedown. I don't think we want to start tanking 5 damage at once. We'll get rid of that Legionnaire. Next turn we can resupply 3PO. He's going to exploit something big out again. This time a Separatist Commando. We were avoiding the ground area, so we didn't get hit by that second unit there. So we probably don't need the dispatcher now. Right, so we're in no rush here. We are in absolutely no rush. One thing I like about Rey is the action economy, because you've got so many little actions to do. You can sort of wait to right to the end to deploy things like your leader. So I think we just Mon Mothma here. It's fine if he runs into it. Well, three R2s, a Mon Mothma, and a 3PO. So let's take another Mon Mothma. Let's see what he does. He may run in. Okay, so he's got a blaster. All right, so we'll resupply. Let's put him in a little bit of a hold here. Okay, so we can deploy with Rey now and take care of that droid commando. If he lets us, he does not let us. We can just claim. All right, so let's resource the tech. So our options here is a blue leader straight into the droid commando, and then a 3PO, or we could try and hit the U-wing reinforcements. I think I want to save the U-wing potentially for when Dooku's out. So let's hit the blue leader. You can see this deck already. We just played a card. They're on 2 cards where we're on 6. So the invisible hand. So when played, it can search the top 8 cards and reveal a droid and draw it. So I don't think he hit a card there. All right, so we can't buff the unit. So let's go 3PO and draw a card. All right, it is not a hit. All right, so here we can just claim and then run into that commando. That commando has it has raid 2 because of the invisible hand. All right, I think we can get rid of the fleet lieutenant here. The rival's fall is in the side of this deck, unfortunately. All right, so visible hand. Let's see if he draws a card this time. He does. Okay, I think we can trade for this security team. And I think we can just Luke the invisible hand here. All right. He'll bring Dooku out, which is going to be a 5/9 and potentially kill Rey. And then we're pretty much set up. He may barrage here. If he barrages it, it's pretty bad for us. Lucky he didn't have a barrage because that would have been a full board wipe and we would have struggled to come back from that. Okay, Spark of Hope. Can sometimes be good to return the Luke back to your hand. Traitorous, don't think is good here, so what are our options? We can hit him with the Luke, or we can spell the dragon. I think I prefer hitting with Luke, because we can always play a U-wing reinforcement if he wipes it out with Dooku. Okay, so we could play a home oney here. Play a Bright Hope and return Luke to hand. That's an option, or we could play U-wing reinforcement. I think I like bringing Luke back to hand. Okay, all right, we'll claim. We may hit like a... Okay, he's going to play a Boba Fett. All right, get rid of that spark. So we can take down the Boba Fett. That will leave us 6 resources left. I think that's okay. It's kind of running out of options in terms of you've only got 2 cards. All right, that's a good play from him to hit the... overwhelming, but I think what we do here is it's got overwhelmed, so we don't really want to play anything yet. I think we play the Spark of Hope, bring the home one back. We can then play Mon Mothma, get an Akbar. Oh, hey, so I got some messages. Why did you not Lieutenant the Mon Mothma instead of killing him? Yeah, I could have bounced up with that one. I can't remember that play exactly. Hey, Inferno 5, nice to see you playing Rey Green. Planning to play this in a tournament? Why this deck over Yoda or Iden? All right, let me just play here first. Traitorous. Okay, so why play over Yoda? I think this deck has a little bit more play into sort of the aggro decks. Yoda can be sort of out aggroed very early on sometimes. This has a lot of small units that allows you to compete, and expecting the meta to be fairly aggro. And this post board has a decent shot as well. It has a decent shot into the control matchups. In terms of Iden, I just don't think Iden's that well positioned. I think if you're going to play Villainy, you got to play Kira at the moment. Let's kill the battle droid first. Okay, we've got a traitorous. Yeah, so I don't think Iden. I ran Iden yellow last week at the Sydney PQ. It was a mistake into that meta and that as well. But yeah, why didn't I Lieutenant the Mon Mothma? I'd have to go back and look at that. Okay, so we're not in a good position now. Yeah, so we're gonna pretty much have to viewing here now, and then hope for a. Oh no, we can Luke and then fell the dragon. So that's 11. Okay, so we just scraped through on that one. All right, fell the dragon, the Maul. Give an experience to Bright Hope and then hit in. What does he need? If he has another Maul, we're in trouble. We need some kind of. We need to hit with Luke to give ourselves some distance. Definitely a lot of Sabines out. How's the deck in the Sabine? It's 50-50. I played too many, but it's got the things like the 2/3 bounty one. That's quite good. Okay, so what are we playing here? The 2/3, it's the clone deserter. That becomes a 3/4. The player has the blue leader ambush on his upgraded droid. Yeah, yeah. I may have missed that one. So here we are here. We can play a tech out for 4. That will leave us 9. So we're 1 short on the home 1. So let's see what we draw with the C3PO. We really want most of the deck's 3s. We really want a home 1 here potentially. But let's go 3. We've got to fell the dragon. Well, I should have picked 4. Okay, let's Ewing here. Okay, so we go village protectors. Oh, we just go. Oh, can you go blue leader, blue leader? I don't know if that works. Does it? You can then ambush and then defeat. Does that work? No, that doesn't work. Okay, so we go clone deserter, blue leader, village protectors. No, we'll run in. Okay, so we get another one. Always choose 3. Yeah, I should have picked 4 just because that's actually what I need. I need a home 1 or a fell. All right, so if we can survive 1 hit here, so now we've got the entrenched as well for the invincible. Okay, so I think I just hit here with Luke first to get a little bit of breathing space. Yeah, and now we can just home 1 and we can then turn off a whole bunch of. Yeah, there we go. So that's there. You can saw the power of the tech, 2/5 tech coming out of the row and then opening up our resources. Yeah, the majority of the deck is 3s. So you normally call 3, but I actually needed a 4 there. So there is actually 8 out of the 60 are, are fours. And how much have we got here? 8, 10, 15, 20, 23 are threes as well. All right, let me bring the score up. Yeah, I got lucky on a couple of those plays on that game. The tourney had his leader out with, and I think I had Ray and Luke. If you had had a barrage there, I probably would have lost. Deco is also a lot of fun with Chewbacca because of all the 3 drops. Yeah, it hasn't got Chewbacca in the deck because I don't really have many ships to pilot. And then Chewbacca's kind of on the high end. This plays a lot of the weenie, the small drops in it. But I have been contemplating putting Chewbacca in the side because one way that you beat control decks and that is just constantly play Chewbacca out. I played a game on the weekend and I was running Iden Yellow against it. And I got Chewbacca'd, I think, 6 times on the game. So 3 normal and then 3 home ones that just kept bringing it back. So it was not a good time at all. Yeah, this one still looks like it's messed up where I have to keep pasting it in. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to. Oh, the Chewbacca leader. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Chewbacca leader would be fun. Yeah, you don't want to fight in space with this deck. So with this deck, you're basically lane dodging, and then you use the entrenched and traitorous to contest the space to avoid it. So they put a big ship. They put a small ship with a pilot on, and then you can traitorous it. If they play a big ship, then you just entrench it, typically. And if it is a big ship, you got, I think, 3 fells and that in there as well. So we've got an Akbar to start with. This is not a great hand. This Clone Deserters is in there. It's great against the Sabine players. So let's mulligan that. So yeah, you've been playing the 62 card version from France. Hard to choose which cards exactly. I think he was playing 3 Akbars. I think I dropped an Akbar and maybe a Peacekeeper. I think somewhere. I think they'd only had 2 sparks as well, where the other PQ one had 3 sparks. So I'm contemplating if I actually need the 3. It's just so good when you actually get it because you've got lots of small units that can trade early, and especially if you have like a 3PO or something like that. They want to kill it, or a dispatcher. They want to kill it, and then you just Sparkle Hope, and Ray suddenly becomes a 5 resource leader. All right, so we didn't get the 3PO draw there. All right, we're going to get done here by a lot of X-Wings potentially. Okay, so that's fine. I think we just play Mothma and then claim, and then we'll just take down that next turn. Unless we hit a trader. So we actually hit nothing on that Mon Mothma, which happens, but not often. All right, so let's claim to save ourselves some damage here. Okay, so we've hit and we can entrench it, but then it's kind of bad for the Akbar leader because it just gives it a free tap resource. So I don't think that's the right play either. All right, I don't think we need the dispatcher now. All right, let's take down that one there. Luke will drop to the ground. All right, so he's got another pilot here. All right, let's hit into Luke there for 1. Now we draw the traitorous. So we're going to get the traitorous next, which would have been great. So he's going to return a unit to hand, and we can just claim here. Yeah, now we get the traitorous. Okay, so we can't take down that one anymore. So it's going to end up being a entrenched target. All right, so let's hit into the Luke. We'll call a 3 out for this one. And we get the Fleet Lieutenant. Right. Okay. Doesn't put anything on it. All right. Let's Mon Mothma then. We can either take a blue leader that can play now, or I think we just take a Luke. Okay, so we can put an experience on Mon Mothma. Three Spark of Hope. Getting Rey out of turn earlier is big, exactly. And the Dispatcher being able to play a 3-cost unit on turn 2 with Rey's buff. Yep. Do we entrench here? Kind of not in a great spot because this is a fairly heavy deck. So I think we do entrench the Razor Crest. And we've got a Traitorous in case if he puts a pilot on one of those. We do have Rey coming out this turn as well. A lot of space coming at us with this deck. So why did he tap that? I would have tapped the entrenched one there. All right, let's give Mon Mothma experience. We do have a tech in the row. All right, let's hit Akbar for 3. All right, okay, Han's going to come out. All right, so I think we Akbar there, and then we can flip Rey, kill the Han. This is where this deck, you might be able to outpace an enemy by having strong presence on the ground and them having, you know, only a couple of ships up there and you can sort of out heal. But let's see how this one goes. I don't think we need Fleet Lieutenant. We're kind of waiting on him to play some pilot on one of those. Yeah, Rebel Assaults. He's going to Rebel Assault. I think we just Luke that X-Wing. All right, and we'll heal up as well. All right, we'll pass. So we do have a home 1. Yeah, I don't think we've got a Bright Hope in the row though. Okay, we've now got a Wing Leader. So this seems like a decent traitorous target now. It'll force the Razor Crest to hit it. We're only going to take 5 this turn. No, he's going to return it to hand. Okay, so we can hit in to his base. And we can play the Akbar to hit that Wing Leader, which we have none, so it doesn't matter. Didn't do anything. Okay, so we've got Fleet Lieutenant, which is good if we're going to start racing. We probably don't need any more U-Wings. All right, we can hit him with Rey. Buff the Akbar. At some point, he should start tapping Luke, I would say. We still don't have anything that allows us to... Maybe we play U-Wing here. U-Wing, or we just hit him with Luke. Let's hit him with Luke for 8. We are kind of outpacing. We can play R2 and tech out of the row. So yeah, so you can see here it's where it's just we're out healing at the moment. He's got 2 left. All right, now we can. What's more important? I think is there's the fleet lieutenant in the row. If he hits that, we'll claim, and now we can fleet lieutenant Luke for 8, which should finish him off. If I was him, I would have started to tap Luke. Okay, so he stopped that from happening. All right, let's hit in for 6 then. Rebel assault. Okay, and you can see we just got to out heal him, even though he had so much space there. All right. Okay, let's jump into another game. Let me just copy that link again. Yeah, with the 1 cost and buff play, it annoys Quinlan too as well. Yeah, I just like it because it's why Sabine's so good sometimes. Is the action economy in Sabine is you can use Sabine's ability and then really delay, especially on her flip turn. And that's it puts your opponent in a bind because they could be waiting with a takedown, and you can't actually do anything. Now this is hard matchup. I'm not gonna lie, this double green pal before we hit a sideboard is very hard for us. All right, let's get rid of Akbar. Let's get rid of Spark, just because they have tons of ramp and they've got these things with Relentless and that here. Clint, Sabine. Yes, I mean, that's why Sabine is good, because of the action economy on her flip turn. Which is now Rey gives you a lot of that with all of these additional actions of handing out XP. Okay, what do we need here? Do we keep the entrenched? I think we need the entrenched at this stage. I don't like Pout with this deck. Yeah, this is a very hard matchup. I'm not going to lie. This is a matchup where you have to be kind of quick to... All right, let's play the Peacekeeper. Even though he's going to run it into R2, we can at least spark. We'll spark and then Mon Mothma. Here as he runs it into R2. Yeah, just can see game 1, pull in your side deck to make sure I have enough time to win. Yeah, I'm more comfortable against the Pout Blue, but the green can be, yeah, a bit problematic in terms of the number of what do you call it? The number of Relentless and that as well. But you got to just play small units and keep chipping away is the way that you handle the Pout. All right, so let's play the Mon Mothma. He didn't do what I thought he was going to do. We're going to have to play this game a little bit wider. Yep, see you tomorrow, Clint. We'll practice some games. I expect you to be on Sabine Data Vault, not Sabine ECL. Or maybe you're flipping like Tebow and go on 2 blue. All right, now I expect him to ping. I don't think we need resupply. All right. The Bright Hope is good here for bouncing things like the Dispatcher. So depends what he runs into here. If he runs into R2, we can Spark. We can also play the Bright Hope at the same turn for 3. Let's resource the Dispatcher. Right, so he's going to play a Traitorous on us. Okay. All right, let's play a unit. We'll play Bright Hope. We'll return Mon Mothma. And we'll try and outvalue him with cards here. We still have not lost a unit here. The blue leader we can put on the bottom. All right, now we can Spark. We'll put the R2 back in our row. Deploy. Yeah, so even though we've drawn lots of cards and we've done a whole bunch of things here, we're still on similar hand sizes. Is it a takedown or is it a blue leader here? Get rid of a takedown. You might flip Palp here. Nope. Okay, so our options here. I think we attack with the Bright Hope regardless. I don't know why he would 100% you deploy Palp here. You take a unit, you've got 4 units on the board. Yeah, this is why this matchup is pretty tough. So the options here is takedown on Vader, or we could go for a Luke. Let's go for a Luke. You hit one, hit Vader. But thankfully, there is not many Palps, and there shouldn't be many Palps around because it's almost an auto loss against a Sabine, against an aggressive player. Okay, so can either run in blue leader, run in Luke. Let's get rid of the Bright Hope here. I think he's got a power of the not a overwhelming barrage here. Yeah, Palp is definitely way too slow for all the Sabines, all the aggressive decks. We can hit in for 5. That stops our gameplay at the moment, so let's slow it down a little bit. Play a Mon Mothma to draw a Mon Mothma. Okay. All right. Well, let's run in. Hit Palp. At least we'll be able to take down it next turn. He has a barrage, yeah, which is kind of what I expect him to have. He's going to be able to clear majority of the board except for Mon Mothma. And give Mon Mothma an experience. We can at least kill Palp next. Okay. Alright, so a Traitorous is good for us. I think we take down Palp to start with. So we kill the Gamorrean here. So otherwise, we're just going to get a free trade on Yularen. But if he does have the Relentless here, we would be in trouble. Alright, we can hit in there. I don't know if we're going to get a better traitorous target at the moment, so let's just take his Yularen for now. Alright, yep. Thanks for playing. Yeah, see you, Ukes. Gonna head out. Catch the rest of the VOD later. Thanks for playing Rey Green. Playing to build the deck, so yeah, it's super fun deck to play. Alright, we can just claim here. We want kind of an entrenched or something for that Bright Hope. One good thing is we did have Yularen until he took it back. We're not in a range where we can home one, and we home one. Have we got a blue leader? Yeah, so let's home one, play a blue leader, and then run it into Yularen. We got one restore back off the home one. Okay, now we can just claim. Probably got a Devastator here. Yep, there we go. Okay, we can get rid of the tech. So we can start by fell the dragon on the Devastator. We can either play a Mon Mothma, and it's very difficult, this match. All right, let's play a Mon Mothma and see what we get. So we get a Luke. Okay, so now we get a Vader. All right, I think we just give an XP to Mon Mothma. And then we just entrench the Bright Hope. We're in a real tough spot here. So we do have a traitorous. Maybe we ditch the Mon Mothma here so that we can home one a Luke. Right. We just traitorous. The options are to traitorous, to blue leader again with home one. That will give us a bit of breathing room there. That will kill that, and then we could run the Mon Mothma in. We could Luke. Let's traitorous first, and then we've still got the Luke up our sleeves. There's so much traitorous in the new meta that if you not have confiscates in that in the side, yeah, you're crazy. Like a lot of the top decks now are all running. Yeah, that's pretty much the end now. I don't think we get out of this because we could play a tech for 4, and we still need 4 for the entrenched. Yeah, I don't think we get out of it, unfortunately. Just the double Devastator. So thinking about that match into game 2, we would have a look and we would bring in the 3 rivals and then the salvage as well, and potentially confiscates for the traitorous that he plays on us. We would take out the clone deserters, would go out. And that's about it, I think. But yes, it's a very difficult matchup, that one. For any kind of mid-range game, especially one that just goes for value like Rey does and just goes out sideways. And a good power player is going to have lots of cards, lots of choices. So here we go. So we've hit a Sabine player now. And we don't have a first turn play. So that is that is awkward. So hopefully he plays one in space, which is good because we can just blue leader it now. All right, let's just claim. We probably should have kept both entrenched, actually. All right, now we can get rid of a Ewing. All right, now we can just blue leader in. No, this deck has a lot of first turn plays, so it's always very surprising when you miss like that. All right, let's get rid of the Bright Hope. We'll play a tech out and give it an experience. Let's pass. See what he does. Might play another Fleet Lieutenant. Yeah. All right, let's give an experience here. Probably going to get Sabine and Darksaber. No, we are not. All right, let's claim. Fleet Lieutenant doesn't do anything here. So it's kind of awkward if he has a Poe here, it is very awkward. Because if I were to blue leader, maybe I need a blue leader Sabine here, because if I blue leader K2, he can run Poe into tech and do 2 damage to the blue leader. Is not right. If I was to hit the Fleet Lieutenant, then K2 just comes straight in. So yeah, I think I have to blue leader the Sabine. All right. Well, we kill the Fleet Lieutenant. We have to, means his K2 will just run over the top of it. All right, let's claim. Yep. At least he can't sort of double kill them. All right, so what's our option here? We want to play Rey out. We want to defeat that. I don't think we need the resupply here. All right. Let's kill Poe. And flip Rey and see what he plays. Okay, Sabine's Masterpiece is okay. And give an entrenched to Rey. All right, let's kill the K2. And now we can fell the dragon, the Masterpiece, which will put Luke on the ground. Just hope he doesn't have a wrecker here. I don't think we need... Do we need Spark? I don't think we need more Mothma, actually. No, let's get rid of Spark. A wrecker would be not good. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Let's finish off the Luke. All right, let's play... Okay, so what do we got here? So we can go Village Protectors, Alliance Dispatcher, and Akbar. There we go. He'll still in and kill Rey, but he's going to lose his Poe now. And then next turn we can home one in. Let's get rid of the 3PO. That'll kill Rey. Is there anything that we want in the row? All right, we can get something for 5 back. So we can get a blue leader back here. All right, let's play the home one. Oh, let's just play the Village Protectors back out. Okay. Akbar restored to 2, and I think we're okay now. All right. There we go. Okay, we don't need a dispatcher. Got a couple of takedowns now. We've got no more tech in the row. All right, let's hit his base for 7. We can take down that. All right, we'll Mothma, see what we get. We get a Luke. Now we can put an XP on the protectors and start hitting the base now. All right, so our restore 1, working overtime. Oh, we don't need another Akbar. Sit in 7 and 3. All right, so that finishes off the Sabine. Takes us to 3-1. So our only loss so far has been the Palp Green. All right. Let's create a game. All right, so Luke ECL. So the things that we have to watch out with Luke ECL. We have to watch out for big pilots up in space, and we have to watch out for the Wrecker Poe on the ground around ECL time. So that looks like a reasonable hand. We've got an entrenched. We still have first turn play. We'll just play the deserter out. We won't mulligan. We'll get rid of a blue leader and a... I think a Yoda. I mean, a Village Protectors here. We'll keep the entrench for a mega ship that he's going to create. He's going to play Bounty Hunter Quarry, which is interesting. A Bright Hope is really good when they start bountying your ground units. You can just bounce it back to hand and they lose their bounties. What's he got? An open fire or something here. So blue leader will have to take out the Sabine's Masterpiece straight away. All right, we can hit him for 3. We don't need this second clone deserter. All right, so let's draw some cards. Okay, well, it's got another Yoda. All right, Mon Mothma. Take a Luke. All right, so got a couple of Yodas. Get rid of a clone deserter. We're going to hit our clone deserter, that one. Yep. Okay, Sabine's Masterpiece. We're going to save the entrenched for the Luke. We'll give 1 experience to Mon Mothma so we can clear out this blue leader. The attacks with the Y-Wing will take 3 damage on Mothma, knowing that we're going to sacrifice it. We'll attack now before the Luke can trigger its ability. Right, let's hit in for 1, and we'll call 3. It's not, it's a U-Wing reinforcement. All right, let's put down Yoda and then pass. Okay, let's get rid of the Peacekeeper. We've got Spark of Hope here, so yeah, let's now entrench that masterpiece now that Luke's on it. Yeah, that's a problem. That is a big problem. As soon as we played the entrench, that Poe could come out. Yeah, that is a problem. So now we're going to have to... So Luke, the fighting deal 3 damage. So it's going to be able to hit Yoda. So we have to put an experience on before Yoda dies. We're going to need another entrenched or something here. All right, let's hit into Poe. We'll draw a card. It is not an entrenched. Okay. All right, we're going to have to flip Rey. And we're going to have to kill Poe here. Wow, he has had such a good draw. Think we just play the Yoda out again. Think we're in a lot of trouble here. We have no way to get rid of that masterpiece with the leader on other than an entrenched. Yeah. Yeah, this is not looking good. I think that, yeah, the Poe ECL, but this deck really has nothing for that. So post sideboard, we would bring in the Rival's Fall in that, which would pretty much shut down this deck completely. Yeah, like it's out of control at the moment. Okay. Sure. All right, we'll just play the Luke, which will kill that one there. All right, let's just claim. We really need an entrenched. Even then, I think it's too late now. Okay, sure. See if we can get a rematch, and let's see if he accepts a rematch, and we can. Okay, so he declines it, so can't get a rematch there. I just wanted to test the board against something like that because that's the kind of deck that you will lose when they get a draw like that. Game 1, but then game 2 and 3, once you bring in confiscates, rivals falls, I don't think you lose that match very often. All right, let's copy the deck in. Create game. I think next time we hit a deck like that, we'll put in our sideboard and test it out. Because we do have those rivals, we do have the confiscates. Okay, so, all right, a mirror. I think we might choose some best of 3s next. Because he could be putting in his sideboard, and we're not. Yeah, so he's disconnected. All right, cool. Sabine, we need more practice against Sabine. Let's see how we go.